When God or the universe or your higher self wants to show you who you are, it takes you away from all that you know. You are taking it upon yourself to go on the quest to reach your higher self, and in doing so you're doing something against the norm. You're taking the road less traveled, and in the road less traveled you may not see your family and friends walking on that same road, and that may add to the feeling of loneliness. If you're on a journey, whether it's a self-improvement journey or a spiritual journey, then chances are that along the road you might find yourself feeling loneliness, feeling like nobody else is walking the same path as you. And so I wanted to really take the time to make this video and say that loneliness is a part of the journey, and when you're on a quest to reaching your higher self, then loneliness is completely normal and it's okay. So when we're on a spiritual journey, when we're on a path to self-improvement, it's typically the road less traveled. Not many people are on it, especially friends and family around us. They might not understand us, and that may add to the feeling of loneliness. For instance, what I felt when I started my self-improvement and spiritual journey is that my entire character, who I was as a person, was based solely off what I thought that the external world wanted of me. So when I watch movies, when I scroll through social media and see people's stories, I thought that the definition of a successful person was somebody who had a big social circle, somebody who had drink ups to go to every single weekend, festivals to go to every month, and that's what I did to try to conform, to feel that sense of belonging in my social circles. So when you start your self-improvement or spiritual journey, then typically that involves you taking the wheel back and taking back control of who you are and who you define yourself to be. You no longer submit to being a product of your external environment. That's why it's a spiritual journey. That's why it's a self-improvement journey. You are taking it upon yourself to go on the quest to reach your higher self, and in doing so you're doing something against the norm. You're taking the road less traveled, and in the road less traveled you may not see your family and friends walking on that same road, and that may add to the feeling of loneliness. And so what I want to talk about next is that when you change yourself, you change the world around you, as within so without. When you change yourself, then by virtue of you changing yourself, people around you have to change the way that they interact with the new version of you. People feel a lot of resistance when they have to interact with you in a different way, the new you. So for instance, I'll give you an example. So once I started getting into my fitness journey and I lost 5 or 10 kilos, started going to the gym to better myself, one of my close friends actually called me a tryhard and was actually saying negative comments to me. And I think that that's just a consequence of people being resistant to change. They are used to interacting with the version of you that they're familiar with, and part of my journey was that I started to realize that me changing, I was starting to lose the people around me, the people that I used to be close with. And so I would try to revert back to the old version of me. For example, when people are like, oh yeah, the old Stephen would go drinking, and then I would do that. I'd go out and get drunk, and I would force myself to be my old me, and it just didn't feel right anymore. I feel like me saying yes to becoming my old self again was me saying no to my higher self and my highest potential of what I should be. And I feel like the universe punishes you for that, because every time I would try to become my old me again, just for other people's sake instead of my own sake, then I would feel it. I'd feel the negative emotions of anxiety the next day or throughout the week for me not living to the values and virtues that I hold for myself in my spiritual and self-improvement journey. And as humans, we're supposed to evolve and not supposed to backtrack. It's similar to a snake. Once it sheds its skin, it's not going to go back to its old skin. As Friedrich Nietzsche says, the snake which cannot cast its skin has to die. As well, the minds which are prevented from changing their opinions, they cease to be mind. And on the spiritual journey, you're continuously evolving, you're continuously learning and expanding and growing. A mind expanded by a new idea can never return to its original dimension. That's just unnatural. That's just not the natural order of things, to go back to the way you were. And so that's why if you lose your friends, if you try to hold on to that, then that's, in a way, you're trying to hold on to the past, hold on to an old version of yourself, and that creates more internal resistance. And that's one of the biggest parts of the spiritual or self-improvement journey, is to let go of the old to bring way for the new. It can be difficult because letting go of the old, your old groups, your old friends and everyone, can feel very lonely, but I guess that's just part of the journey. Sometimes God or the universe or your higher self needs to take you away from all that you know to show you who you are, because the voice of the higher self, God, intuition, whatever you believe in, is a very subtle voice which comes from within, and you can only hear that voice when there's no external noise telling you what to do and who to be. And so that's why I believe religions have fasting. I don't think it's just fasting of food, but I believe it's fasting from the external world, fasting from the external noise to hear the voice from within, to recalibrate yourself with your higher self, with God, the divine, whatever you believe in. And I think it's necessary, because in not doing so, it's so easy to drift off, to become a product of your external world, to be who society tells you to be and do what society tells you to do, instead of being oriented from within and doing what you want to do to live in accordance with your higher self or God or the universe or whatever you want to call it. And so that's why fasting is really important. And so if you're on your spiritual journey or a self-improvement journey and you're feeling lonely, I do want to say and give words of consolation and say that it does get better. Think about the law of attraction. What is the law of attraction? It says like attracts like. And so by virtue of you being on a spiritual or self-improvement journey, then naturally you are going to attract people into your life who are on a similar journey that you can resonate with. And I've always found that to be the case. Every time I feel lonely and lose a couple close friends because, I've changed too much, then I don't know, the universe just brings me a new bunch of friends who are more in resonance with the new version of myself that I've become. So I get an example, a perfect example is this YouTube channel. I've always thought of myself as an outcast, that my ideas are just too weird for people to resonate with. But after I made a YouTube channel, and then I'm reading so many comments of people saying that they're on the same journey, they resonate with me, and just people watching my videos, it's just an amazing thing. And I know there's a 99% chance I'm never going to meet most of the people who watch my videos in real life, but then in a sense, I do feel a sense of community. Even though our paths may not cross, just knowing that people watch my videos and resonate with it sort of makes me feel like I'm in a community where I can just be me and not have to change a thing, and people resonate with that. And that's a pretty cool thing, Even in real life, I'm starting to meet new people who are in resonance with the current version of me, and it's an amazing thing. Things will actually pan out. And so if you're on a spiritual journey right now, or a self-improvement journey, you're feeling that sense of loneliness, just know that it's normal. To reaffirm what I said before, when God or the universe or your higher self wants to show you who you are, it takes you away from all that you know. And yeah, just try to find enjoyment in where you are currently now in this journey, and when you look back at it, you'll realize that everything will make sense. As Steve Jobs says, you cannot connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. And so you just have to have faith and believe that the dots are going to connect in your future, just like they do in your past. When you look at your past, everything makes sense. And to end this, I want to bring up a quote, one of my favorite quotes by Carl Jung, which really helped me get through loneliness during this journey. And it goes, "An old alchemist gave the following consolation to one of his disciples. No matter how isolated you are and how lonely you feel, if you do your work truly and conscientiously, unknown friends will come and seek you." That's all for today, everyone. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you all, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.